This week, we are fighting the good fight. And it's not pretty, with breakdown after breakdown, but we don't need your pity. When things seem like they're all against you, that's when you need to be most gritty and make decisions on the spot without a committee. And we have something to erect that may be a quickie, creating the 8th wonder of the world, the Ashville Scaffold City. I'm Daniel, and it's Ashville Weekly, episode 201. It's Monday morning, and I'm in the yard, having a look at our water tank setup. This is our Ashville water tower, which is 17,000 litres, and the backup tank behind is 20,000 litres. We moved this on Saturday of last week, and we dismantled the manifold that we previously used to use in the old yard for the sprinkler system, and we've put it in place here. This is the incoming water, fabulous pressure. These used to be a different material bay each. This is the water tower, and this is the water tank. The water tank and tower are not connected together. We're gonna run separate hoses round to the silo, so each of them can be used, because we want lorries to load cement and water at the same time to save on time. The reason the two tanks are not connected and they have two separate feeds is because the water tower is higher than the water tank. If you connect them together with a Y piece, the water tower will only fill to the top point of the water tank. Think about it. Believe me, it makes sense. What I'm trying to say is, we have the ability to store the most water when the tanks are not connected and working as one. If connected, the tanks will fill at a level rate, but when the top of the tank, which is lower, is full, it will stop the other tank from filling at that height. If we were to remove the shutter from the lower tank, both tanks would fill at a level rate, but the lower tank would overflow until the higher tank was full. Now, there are ways around this with sealed tanks and more complex systems, but we're not purchasing any more kit for now, so this will have to do. But we have a little problem with this. A lot like a toilet cistern, it has a ball cock and it is failing. Probably when we put it on its side for transportation, when we were moving from one yard to the other, click here to watch a 2-hour video on the intricate parts of that move, we believe it was damaged. So this is getting to the top and then it's overflowing. So we're monitoring these. And Ben just left the yard empty because he's going to collect a machine that's off hire and he's going to bring it back to the yard. Having a tidy up, sweeping to get it nice and clean. Within the containers and the workshop area, there are loads of bits from the old yard that we need to bring back round. On Saturday, I took some time to sit down with Terry. I discussed with Sam on Thursday, and the decision has been made after taking a long, hard look at what's going on and taking a long, hard look at myself, that we are going back to basics. Remember a long time ago in Weekly, we used to have regular guys hanging out? Terry calls it
two guys trying a thing.
Terry and I are looking to submerge ourselves completely in jobs which possibly others were doing. We need to really get hold of this yard and the lorries operationally and get it to a point. So you're gonna see me in the yard a lot more, and everyone in the yard is gonna see me a lot more. Terry's gonna handle transportation and a bit of the ops. I'm gonna handle the yard, the majority of the ops and trains, to try to give Terry as much free time as he can so we can get all of those lorries out. And in other fantastic news, St. Lucia, gold medal at the Olympics, 100-meter women's sprint. Can you imagine? An island with 180,000 people gets a gold medal. I'm extremely proud. What a win. Ben is going to load up some concrete blocks and he is heading to a site to deliver them. I've just asked the lads to bring over a couple of stillages. We used to keep all the chains in one stillage and all the straps in another stillage, but for some reason it seems like a good idea to dash them all over the floor and then say we can't find any. There's a set here, there's another set, and all around the yard we have straps which need to be put together and not just thrown in the stillage, taken out one by one and rolled up and put back in the stillage, so when somebody wants to use them, they can actually use them without untangling them like a set of headphones that you go gym with and push in the bottom of your gym bag. You saw a couple of weeks back, I said that we were not allowed to paint these black and yellow. Well, since that time, multiple investigations have been made because this is something which is crucially important and benefits my life in no way whatsoever. And it turns out they do not have to be red and white. We need a red stop sign, i.e. a red light for a traffic light. When we're setting up the traffic light system for the weighbridge, we get a traffic light and we have one here and we have one there. Then I can paint these whatever color I want to. Of course, I'm gonna double check with Network Rail, but my understanding of regulations is that that will cover us. Speaking of which, GB Rail Freight are now in the yard. I have a meeting. They're going to talk about the safe method of work. Once they put that paperwork in place, we are one step closer to running the first loco in here to test our track and get sign off. We have 2 points. We have this middle point, which is connected to the main line, and we're also connected to the main line up the top. GB Rail Freight, we're very happy with the track, but they have made one recommendation which makes perfect sense. This is the switch which operates the line here. I'll show you how that works. Now I'll drop my tape measure. We go that way. Now we pull. This is just put in so there won't be any problem whatsoever, but when we get to the winter months, when the shunter stands here, this could get very slippery. So they've asked us to put down some waffle board. Yes, that's what they called it, waffle board. Now I went online straight away. You can have green, gray or yellow. Of course I chose yellow because it's going to match everything we do here and it will stand out a lot better when it's dark. Then you can select the thickness. So I chose a slightly thicker one, 38mm instead of 25mm. But then there were different sizes in the length. We're going to need to cut them, which you can do, but I want to choose a size, which means we can buy as little as possible, but we can cut them and then they're going to fit. So, let's try from there to here. Oh wow, bang on, 1 meter. That is actually perfect. From there to here, we are almost 1 meter. So I know exactly what sizes we need to buy. I'm going to head up to my office immediately and make the purchase because it takes 3 to 5 days to deliver and I want it to be in place before a loco is scheduled. And it looks like I need to do the same on this one also. Now this already has a plate, but I think that the waffle board will last a lot longer and be a lot less slippery. For an entire train line, that is not a lot of snagging at all. And GB Rail Freight's suggestion will make our yard look better and it will keep everyone safe. Nice. got another shovel in on hire, this time from Case, an American manufacturer. They've given us this shovel for a week so we can use it and see how we feel about it and how it works in the yard. One interesting thing about this shovel is that it doesn't do regens. I've had a lot of problems with AdBlue and regeneration. Apparently this one doesn't do it. It doesn't have a hydrostatic drive. It has a different type of gearbox. So the lads are going to use it and see what they think of it.
That's 56.
Okay, it'll fit on it because it's 600 by 600, yep. And
102.
okay, and that will be inside the weighbridge.
Yeah, without this. This is for pedestrians. You need 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
There will be.
And they can all be programmed.
Yes.
So I went to visit our friends next door at Celtic Traffic Management, the traffic light system we need to put in place on the weighbridge. We don't want to buy anything bespoke and we don't want to mess around with anything and pay millions of pounds for it. There's no point. This is all temporary. So what we decided to do is the ones that they normally put out on hire for temporary traffic management on the road when roadworks are taking place, we are going to use 4 of those. We had a measure up and it fits perfectly. It's just under 600 wide and they're just over a meter long. So if we put 2 concrete blocks there, we put 2 concrete blocks there, it should rise them high enough that the windscreen height for the drivers as they come on and off the weighbridge. There'll be 2 units here, 2 units there. And then we're gonna take a unit out of one of the other traffic systems. We're gonna put it in the weighbridge. We're gonna buy a 12-volt converter. Simon can control all from inside the weighbridge office. And we're gonna program the entire system that only one light can be green at a time. So if Simon presses the green one at the front here, so somebody drives onto the weighbridge, all the others will stay red. And it will only stay green for 15 seconds. If he changes the one coming off the weighbridge to green, then all of the others will be red and it will only stay green for 15 seconds. This will mean that there'll never be 2 people trying to drive on or off the weighbridge at any one time. We're just trying to work out now, is it more cost effective for us to buy it or rent it for 18 to 24 months? Our friends next door, Celtic, they're always very reasonable. And I'm very thankful that when we were stuck for office space, they gave Terry, Tony and Liam some office space over there, which I will not forget.
Today is a rough day. Well, on the roughest of rough days, those are the days when you need to maintain your composure, think before you speak, don't let your emotions get in the way, and don't take it out on people who it isn't their fault. And if it is their fault, you need to try and find a way of speaking to them which can get the desired result and won't result in you losing that member of staff, because everybody makes mistakes. It is tough, man. You know, when you feel like there's like a bottleneck and everything is all trying to get through that bottleneck all at the same time. All at the same time. But none of these things that are coming through, none of these are good news, and all of them cost money, and none of them can be done immediately, and they're all trying to ram their way in. I obviously can't go into specific detail because there's certain things I obviously can't say. I can't give the game away, but there is a lot of pressure in here at the moment trying to do this yard, and it is not busy out there. You know, when you need to be busy, when you are busy, you can kind of paper over a lot of the cracks. As long as money is coming in, there's a wasp trying to come in, it's flown away. As long as money is coming in, you can continue and fight another day. When you have hundreds of problems, when you have all the problems of a zoo, a theme park, a retail centre, a quarry, a rail depot, and you're trying to build it under yourself while you talk to engineers and planners, Now drop one of my pens. We need it to be busier, we need more work. And so I don't keep going round in circles, I'm gonna hand over now to Ben, who is delivering a load of concrete blocks. I'm sorry if I made no sense whatsoever.
It's Wednesday morning, I'm in the yard. I found another problem, liability, something that could go wrong that I have to be proactive and not reactive about. These are our main gates to get into the yard. Currently, vehicles come in here, cars come in here, and we walk in here. When we get to around 5, half 5, these gates are shut. And then pedestrians to get in and out, like let's just say somebody wants to drop off their paperwork or they're leaving and they've been locked in the gate, they are hopping over this fence here. Now, currently, we do not have anyone who is unable to do that, but that's not the point. I need to provide access for everyone. And what if somebody slips or hurts themselves? This black gate, I'm gonna pull this out, but I'm gonna keep it because we're gonna reuse this at some point. All these blocks have been put in the way to stop vehicle access. So I'm gonna have to use pieces of fence which have been removed in this yard because there used to be a fence around here. And I'm gonna have to close this off, and then I'm gonna have to put a pedestrian gate here that people can use to enter and leave. As far as I can see it, that is the only way to do it. Yes, I'm gonna have to take it out later. Yes, it's a temporary plan, but I have to provide safe access for everybody to get into the yard and get out of it. You've seen in the past, we've been doing work on the loading shovel tyres. Well, the tyre technician who helps us with that, he is back. And what he's doing is looking over our old shovel tyres that we were gonna throw away, and he's trying to make good on them to ensure that we can use them as spares in the future. And he's gonna pump a special solution into the 566 loading shovel so those tyres can run flat if there is a large puncture, anything below 8 millimeters. While we were doing the loading shovel, we decided to take a look at the puncture on the 1.5 ton dumper. It's not going out on a job, but that's not the point. We need to ensure all of our kit is in perfect working order, so when it is called upon, it can go out to work without a moment's hesitation. How we doing?
Yeah, good, Joe.
Not bad. We had a dumper that was out on hire, and unfortunately the operator using it on the site managed to roll it. They weren't injured, but there was a lot of damage to it. They're very honest with us, and their insurance have paid out. Now we need to fit a new seat, but the seat has different mounting bracket. So when you take the old one off, put the new one on. The tipping levers, they also need to be changed because they were flattened. And then the front of the machine under the steering wheel, all of those panels need to get replaced also. That machine will be good to go out on hire very soon. Refurbishment project. I haven't been talking about it for a while because I've been so busy here. The lads are flat out closing up the ceiling on the first floor. Now all of the electrics are in place. But I have the final render for the proposed pool house, which I submitted earlier with the full quotation. So these are the floor plans, nice spacious layout, which has actually continually got bigger and bigger. These are the sections and elevations, and here is our render. Look at that for a fine space. If you compare this render to the previous one, the larger roof lights actually let a lot more natural light into the area. Now back onto machines. Another problem. We are not using the 566 loading shovel at the moment. We are using the demo from Case, which the boys actually like. They said it's quite powerful, but one of the hoses is leaking. We think there's a very small slit in it. So we've had a company come out to replace that hose and get it done now, right away after the tire work is done. So when we start to use the machine again, it is 100%. It's Thursday morning. We're in the yard. We have a fuel delivery, we're waiting for a cement delivery, and we are about to start the scaffolding works. We have a company in called Ashville Scaffold, young entrepreneur named Joe. Started his firm, started a YouTube channel. Check it out when you get a chance. He popped into the yard yesterday after I put a post on Instagram saying I needed some scaffold done in the yard, and this is the plan. Firstly, we want to use all of our existing scaffold. In the previous yard, we dismantled everything and we've stored it nicely in all of these stillages. Hopefully this is enough, because if it isn't, I have no plans to buy any more. Workshop area, I'd like a roof over the top which slopes backwards. And then I'd like to put some sheeting halfway down the back of it in case when it rains that the wind doesn't blow the rain in. Then I'd like a platform across here. I'd like some legs supporting the platform, but legs which do not block these doors from opening, and then the stairs will run down this side. I'd like to do the same on the other side over here. A relatively large platform in case you're trying to maneuver heavy objects out of these containers. Now for the landings, I'm going to use the plastic boards, which you saw us use for access for the offices, and I want to use the yellow steps. The storage, which I'm going to put on top of these, I would like to use the wooden boards. The firm have turned up mob-handed and they're attacking it nice and early in the day. And lastly, along the front here, I've asked them to use 6-meter beams. See my scaffold talk there? 6-meter beams along the front, because eventually I'd like to weld plates to the front of them and use them to shine lights different directions into the yard so we can light this area so people can see what they're doing in those winter months. You won't believe it if I tell you, but we have a problem with a machine. Can you imagine, at Ashville, the 926 has been working well, exhaust fume-wise, AdBlue-wise, but the idler is gone on the track. So we sent a couple of pictures out with the model numbers, and I'm trying to get one ordered right away so we can get it fitted, but it is trapped on a pile of material, and we can't do anything with it for the time being. Trials and tribulations of running machines. We have a delivery of cement, and JCB have turned up to do some work on the forklift. I believe they are replacing an injector and giving it a service. We have a problem. The concrete's getting busier, but our new concrete lorry, the 17 plate one, the one that we bought from S&S Concrete up in Birmingham, and then did our full refurbishment and did loads of work to it, it went for MOT about 2 weeks ago. Now the lorry is by the side of the road with oil flying out of it, and now it needs to be recovered and brought back to the yard. And my townie is away, he's in Ireland at the moment, so hoping we can get someone to come and look at it in the morning. I'm just trying to get some good energy. So I'm standing by the scaffold momentarily. Already, the scaffold looks a lot bigger than I thought it would. And Joe is around here somewhere. There he is. Thinking I was the only one with a non-standard hard hat. I've got to get the small victories where I can. You'll see last week, our friends at F&J Export sent this to us. I couldn't try and fit it on the lorry because the lorry was at test and I didn't know. And the lorry is now back. I mean, fits. Maybe, no, hold on, what's going on here? Hold on. It seems to be slightly off center, but look, man, it fits. I just don't know why these clips aren't lining up with those. I don't know why, but it fits. That's a small victory for me. There's a really small one, but it's like the only victory that I've got today. I mean, I'm just gonna get some double-sided tape and just make that stay on there somehow. As long as it don't fall off and become a missile on the road, all should be perfect. Thank you, F&J Exports. Started raining in the yard and I have another scheme to make some space. We're going to start putting the 20-yard bins on the train track because we haven't got a date yet for GB Rail Freight to run the first test locomotive. So Ben is pulling up straight on and he's going to put the flatbed down first, and then all the 40-yard bins around the yard that we have which don't have anything in them, he's going to line them up all here so he can pick them up when he needs them, but they won't be taking up space in the rest of the yard. Oh, I'm about to see what's going to happen now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, that didn't work. If it can take a train, it must be able to take the flatbed mounting it. Come on. It's pushing the lorry out of the way. Go forward and then come back. Now go. And just like that, we've made more space in the yard. And if this did damage the train track, then it was never any good in the first place. But obviously it didn't. We are having problems with concrete lorries at the moment. We have one which broke down, you saw earlier. We have one which needs to have an MOT, it's having work done. And we have another one which is having work on the auger. So we have 6 in total. Over here, we have a lorry that was working perfectly fine. It just got back and the flange on the prop has collapsed. This lorry has to be out tomorrow. At the moment, out of 6 lorries, we are down to 2 lorries tomorrow, which is not enough to do the work that we've got on. And what makes it worse is, a couple of weeks back, I told you we had one that we were going to send to Prop Shaft Services, so we had a spare one ready. Somehow, it slipped through the net, we didn't do it, and now we've had to message our friends at Reimer, who make these bodies, and Gary is heading down with a prop now because we're on his way home, and we hope we can get the prop on and this lorry can go out in the morning, because at the moment we're about to let all of our customers down and there's going to be a whole lot of shouting and screaming. So this is mission impossible. Terry got a haircut yesterday, and Terry reckons
They cut it too short.
they cut his hair wrong. Just what exactly is wrong with it?
They cut it too short.
How short was
When I
it?
get my hair cut, I like it cut with the small clippers, yeah?
Yeah.
Just trim it up, get it nice and close, I'm good.
Yeah.
But last night, went in there, he done it over one time with the small clippers, I was like, alright. And he started doing something else, and sometimes they go over, they brush it off, then they go over it again. He got out the dry razor for the...
Yeah.
So there's no hair.
The cutthroat.
No, not the cutthroat.
Yeah.
The electric.
Okay.
where it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
smaller.
Was it? How's it go? How's it work?
Goes like that,
Yeah.
So he started. So actually he started trimming up my sideburns. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And he just went straight through the middle of my hair. And what's he doing? It's too short. But apparently, I'm the only person that noticed it was too short.
You wouldn't think that we're banging trouble and there's a lorry broken down over there, which can't go out tomorrow.
No.
We're worried about Terry's haircut.
Yeah,
Oh, that's too short.
I know.
No, that is definitely too short. That's definitely too short. Where is this prop? We need this prop to get this lorry ready to go on the road tomorrow. It's a strong day. Stella smashed it today. That is a good day's work, if ever I saw it. 6:53 p.m. and the part has arrived.
Should it go from the other side? Was it through that one? No.
All right, testing time. Come on. Now we click into PTO. All right, what's happening here? The prop we took off was 540 mil. This one's 520. So we've had to extend it and we're right on the limit of the splines. Now we're not going to leave this on long term. We're just going to leave this on for tomorrow to get us out of stuck. And Gary from Reimer is going to order us another one if our one from Prop Shaft Services isn't back. Only for a day, just so we won't let people down. It is not unsafe. It's on the limit, within tolerance. Result, we're going out tomorrow morning. It's Friday morning, I'm in the yard. The lorry we showed you yesterday that just came back from test, a team have come out to have a look at the volumetric which broke down yesterday. While doing that, they're gonna take a look at the Volvo tipper also because they should have a computer for a plug-in and we just wanna check a couple of bits. So I'm gonna move it over, put both in one place to make life easier for the fitter. Unfortunately, our demo loading shovel is going back to case. The lads have enjoyed using it. This will be one of the machines we'll consider when we'll go for our fleet upgrade. Oh, you couldn't make this up. Ollie's outside a job, ready to pour concrete, and the power steering pump has exploded. So this lorry is going nowhere and doing nothing at a time when we need it most. Well, it wasn't a great start that I brought the wrong lorry over. I brought this one over. I think the fact that it just passed MOT should have been a giveaway. But we have a bigger problem than that. This lorry, when we've had a look at it, there's coolant in the engine oil. Could be a head gasket. Who knows what it could be? And we are not gonna know until we completely strip it down, which we don't have the facilities to do at the moment. So this lorry's going nowhere. This is unbelievable. This is gonna be so expensive. I've reached out to my friend F&J Exports and I've asked him to look for an engine for me right away. With a problem like this, it may be easier to just pick one engine out and put another one in, change over the ECUs, plug in and try and make it work. There will be other problems when you do it. The dashboard will be like a Christmas tree, but you can maybe get around them with programming. Oh, this is brutal. This lorry's barely done any work since we had it. Our friends at True Plant are in the yard. They've come to collect one of the forklifts and give us another one. The scaffolding is continuing. The structure of the roof is in place. Now we have a forklift to replace the one that needs the warranty work done. We can use the forklift to lift some of the sheets up to the higher level, but progressing very well. Had a meeting with the boss at Celtic, and we are going to bring over 4 concrete blocks and we're going to stack them up here. We're going to excavate the stone that we put down, and we're going to put the 2 blocks stacked at each end, but we're going to put it towards the end of the slab because of the depth of the traffic lights, and that should mean that when you're on the weighbridge you can see the traffic lights, and when you need to get onto the weighbridge you can also see the traffic lights. I gave Scania a call. I let them know the importance of the lorry, which has broke down with the power steering pump. Like, we're desperate for that lorry back, and had a chat with my man at F&J Exports. They do have an engine which would be a perfect fit, which is in 11 litre 450 brake. I spoke to my townie who's away, and he said,
Lad, it's better that we completely take that lorry apart and have a look at the engine before making any decisions, because we don't exactly know what's wrong with it.
there is a chance that it's easier to take the engine out and put a new one in, but it could be something small. I doubt it, with the way things are going for us, that it could be something small, but it just... I suppose I can't complain. The sun is shining, we're in the yard, we're getting things done. It isn't going all our way. I guess there's people in worse situations and there's people in better situations. It is what it is. It's Friday, we're in the yard, it's 2:27 and we are not having it. If something goes against us, we're gonna have to find a way to get around it all day, all week, all month, all year, all decade. Is this on? Is this on? Saturday morning, we're in the yard preparing for the traffic light system. At first, we took one of our transformers and put it in the cupboard, but once you plug in cables, you wouldn't be able to close the door. So we've taken it and we're gonna try and slip it underneath this platform and stairs that we've put in place to get in and out of the weighbridge office. Okay, so that could work there for now.
Okay, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, thank you. So we're sorted with a place for the transformer. I went online earlier. I was trying to order 2 30-meter 110 volt cables and 2 10-meter ones. But by the time I went through everything, it would be easier for us to just make the cables ourselves. So I'm buying a 100-meter roll of 110 volt cable, 2.5, and I'm gonna buy the ends. and then we're just going to make the cables ourselves, so they'll be exactly the length that we want them, and without the end on the cable while we're fishing it, it'll make it that be easier to get it underneath the weighbridge and tack it wherever we want to put it. Yesterday I told you about the Scania volumetric with the power steering pump that went wrong. Well, Scania went out to it and fixed it on the job. I saw it working earlier, driving through the yard on a lap of victory. So we have that lorry back on the road. We are fighting the good fight. Never say die, never retreat, never surrender.
The time is now 4:02 p.m. Everyone's gone home except Richard in the video team and myself. Busy day, preparing for Monday. Loading lorries, greasing, checking wheel nuts. Terry had all the lads in the yard check every lorry to see if it had diesel and AdBlue, because we always ask the drivers to diesel up and fill AdBlue every evening. Currently it's not possible because the fuel pump is working on a generator, and the generator is put away at 5 o'clock. So if the boys get back late, then they're not able to diesel up. So we accept that. All the lorries are ready to rock and roll. I've prepared emails which are going out first thing on Monday morning, so we can chase up on the JCB, so we can see where the idler is for the 926. And Simon on the weighbridge asked me to buy a 3-meter strip of rubber, which when you look at it, the side has a T profile. Now this, you fit in the gap on the weighbridge to ensure that mud doesn't fall down there, because if it gets in there and it gets underneath the sails, it can start to impact the accuracy of your readings, and we might not be giving people enough, or we may be robbing ourselves blind. So I'm all about the preventative maintenance measures. So I bought 3 of them. We'll use 2 of them and 1 will be a spare if damage occurs and it needs to be replaced right away. It's been an intense week, but we are in a better place on Saturday than we were on Monday. We go again on this coming Monday. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 201. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here for an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click down here for an oh man. You know what to do. This is last week's episode. I'm tired, sorry.